Hey, Russell of Hotels going live just for a minute, 15 minutes, an hour. I don't know. You just never know with me. Hope all is well. Happy Monday, right? Man, it's a good weekend. Football first weekend. We had some good games. We had some bad breaks for a couple people. Dak Prescott got hurt. He's out for like 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, does that mean the Cowboys are done again? I don't know. I don't know. I guess the the onus lies on that new quarterback, right? But a lot of good games. A lot of good games. Raiders got beat. Hey, which is good maybe for some people. It's funny the Cowboys and the Raiders always go into the season like, oh, this is the time we did all these things in the off season. Now we're gonna go to the Super Bowl. Well, I don't think so. But anyway, I'm not here talking about sports. But I love sports, specifically football. But I just thought I'd throw that out there. Anyway, hope you guys are well. I think I said that already. Russell of Hotels. I do these lives every day, Monday through Friday, just to be consistent, right? Consistent with your lives, if that's what you're into. I call myself a hospitality personality, which means, I come on and do these lives. I do these lives. I have a show. It's called On Air with Russell of Hotels, which is a live hospitality talk show. We talk about the good, the bad, the ugly of hospitality. Comes on every Tuesday at 1 o'clock PST. I'm live here at LA, and we just talk about, the hospitality stuff. I mean, it's, the good stuff, the bad stuff. I think I said that already, right? The good, the bad, the ugly. I did say that. So let me just look. It's housekeeping week. Right? Almost forgot about that. It's International Housekeeping Week. So hopefully, the hotels that are out there watching and listening, they haven't forgot about that. They haven't forgot to acknowledge, to appreciate, and to celebrate, their housekeeping staff, because they're the hardest working people in the hotel. But plain and simple. Boom, drop the mic. I'm done. I'm over. Yeah. I do. I know. I do think so. I know so. Did you guys know I was a housekeeping manager for several years, about three years, starting my career, and I know firsthand who works the hardest in hotels, and that's the housekeeping staff. So this is the time to celebrate them, to acknowledge them, and to appreciate them. So there you go. So I mean, it's the whole week. You don't have to do something the whole week. There's some hotels that will every day, like, Monday through Friday, they'll have a different thing, maybe a different lunch or a breakfast or whatever, some type of fun activity. But everything revolves around some food, because we all like to eat, right? So, but yeah, so if you're not doing anything, shame on you. I did have a conversation with a friend of mine. I always have this conversation with this friend. And I asked her, I said, hey, housekeeping week is coming up. What are you doing? Well, I can't do anything. I'm like, what do you mean? Because we don't have money to do it. So we're just going to do an all employee thing. I'm like, that's not International Housekeeping Week. That's for everyone. The housekeepers need to have their own week of celebration. Okay. So just say you had to condense it to a day. Okay. Let's just say money is tight. Budgets are tight, and you have to condense it into a day. Okay, condense it into a day, but make it housekeeping day. Housekeeping appreciation day. Then, if you can't do the whole week, at least do the whole day. But even if you can't do the whole week, I mean, there's still things you can do that doesn't take a lot of money. I mean, what about in the back of the house? You can have signs, just, national appreciation. We appreciate you. Thank you for all your hard work. Everybody thinks that it has to be a whole lot of money that you're spending, right? But just appreciation goes a long way. Acknowledgement and appreciation. Thank you. You're doing a great job. Let's keep it up. Our scores are here. They're up. Thank you. That's a direct result from your efforts. Whatever it is, we need to do what we need to do for our housekeepers. Did I say it was International Housekeeping Week? Maybe so, right? So, but those are things we have to do. We have to appreciate people that bust their butts for us in this industry, right? and they're the unsung hero, the people that you don't see for the most part, that most guests don't see, unless they're, they see them in the hallways and things like that. But you know what? We need to appreciate them. We need to celebrate them. We need to acknowledge. Okay, so there you go for that. I think I'm done on that. What do you think? So I do these lives, like I said, every day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. So why do I do lives? You may ask, why do I do lives? They're more intimate. Lives are more intimate, right? So I can actually see there's a couple people that are listening, right, or watching, and I appreciate that. So I appreciate you guys doing that. You can always make comments. I always try to make these lives as interactive as possible. So please feel free to, make comments if that's what you choose to do. That is always a good thing. Let's see, what else? And pretty much my lives they're pretty much unscripted, right? So I may have a topic in my head or something I want to talk about, but I don't know where it's going to go. It's going to go wherever I lead it, right? So, but, International Housekeeping Week, I can talk for an hour about that and how we need to appreciate. Well, I already talked for a couple minutes on that, right? So I'll need to continue that. But all it is a topic, and I can talk about it. I can discuss it. But everything I talk about on my lives are, hospitality based, because I'm a long time hospitality person. Was in the industry, or still in the industry, but just doing a different role. Started my own business, consulting business, where I assist hotels, tourism boards with either sales, content creation for, kind of the sales and marketing piece, or their branding, or for hotels operationally, things that they could be, maybe they're doing wrong, or maybe they can improve. An extra set of eyes to come in and take a look at your property and see exactly what I see that you may not see. Because a lot of times people have been working in their properties, they're in their positions for so long that they don't see everything. And I'll just give you just a quick example of this. Walking down the hallway, there's lights, right? And there's exit signs. Well, sometimes people don't even notice that the exit sign light is out. And there's actually two lights. Most exit signs have two lights in it, and you just see that it's on, right? But you don't realize that one light is burned out. And then once you change it, it illuminates it so much more. You're like, wow, how often have I walked past that and didn't notice it? Or, maybe a piece of paper on the floor, or the edges of the carpet in the hallway, like edge. The edges were right in the cracks, and you don't think about those need to be vacuumed, right? But some people don't see that. Or walking by the pool and you see this, I always use this as an example because it just sets me off, a pizza box on top of the trash can because it won't fit inside. Well, I've been to several hotels and I see that same scenario playing out. And I'm like, how many employees have walked by here, or how many managers have walked by here and haven't seen it and haven't removed that? And I'm a guest, right? So I'm just walking by. So I notice those things. And you know what I think when I see that? I'm like, this place, they're paying attention to detail. So why would I want to bring my group or my business here? Why do I want to stay here if no one's paying attention to the details? And the detail is picking up trash, removing it from the sight of a guest. And that's what you want. Any path that the guest will walk, you want it to be clutter-free. I remember working, even as a director of sales, okay, I would always walk the floors because I check at least 5 rooms a day as a director of sales and marketing because I want to see the consistency of the rooms, right? So, and if I see something that's not right, I will go to the housekeeping manager or director and say, hey, I just happen to be checking a couple rooms and notice this, some inefficiencies. So, I'm taking my notes and all that stuff because remember, I used to be a director of housekeeping at one time, right? So you always draw on your past experiences, right? So, and another thing that sets me off is that in the hallways, you're walking down the hallways and you see a lot of trays of food, empty trays of food or whatever. Like say when room service was being, delivered, or maybe even today where guests will pick up their food and they put it outside their door once they're done. They discard their bags or whatever, and they put it out in the hallway because they don't want it to smell up their room, right? They don't want to smell that old food or the food they just ate in the room. I do the same thing, right? But employees have walked by those hallways, but no one picks up the trash. So when a new guest is walking in, what do they see and what do they smell? They smell the someone else's garbage, right? And you don't want to see that, so remove it. So what I used to do, if there's trays or any kind of litter in the hallway, I will remove them. And if there wasn't a trash can handy or nearby, I would take the trash to the service area, which is out of the sight of the guests, right? Every hallway, every corridor has a service area. So I would just take it and put it in there so the guests that are checking in, or maybe the guests that are already checked in or just walking down the hallway to their rooms, they don't see it. They don't see it, nor do they smell it, okay? So it's all about removing things from the sight of the guests, because you don't want the guests to think, oh, this place is dirty, it's smelly, it sucks. You don't want people to think that, right? So just make sure that we're doing everything we can to assist. And just because you're a manager does not mean you can't pick up the trash, okay? You can't pick things up that are on the floor, okay? In fact, your best managers will do all those things, okay? It doesn't matter what department they're from. Remember, I used to be a director of sales and marketing, right? So I'm still picking up trash that I see because I don't want the guests to see it, okay? So it's not about, oh, I'm gonna go call the employee and tell them to come do it. No, you do it yourself. Stop being so darn lazy. That's why they pay you the big bucks. But anyway, that was a good one, right? So that was a couple things I wanted to talk about. And then I get a call last week from a colleague of mine saying that she's looking for another job, right? In sales. Okay, this is a sales position, or she's a sales director. So, and I was thinking about that. I'm not sure how long she's been at this particular job or this hotel. Say maybe she's been there a year, okay? And throughout that year, you find out things that aren't like you thought they were, right? Meaning, when you first took this job, you thought, oh, okay, this job is gonna be great. It's just what I'm looking for. Well, did you not do enough research to see that maybe it wasn't what you're looking for? Or did they have these issues before and now you're just finding out about them? Maybe you could have found out a little more if you'd done a little bit more research. And what I mean by that, okay, I'll let you know. So do you know how we as travelers, we check a lot of people before they go to a destination, stay at a hotel, they'll look at TripAdvisor for that particular hotel because, people will make comments or they'll critique a hotel stay. The guest comments, right? They'll let you know that, okay, this hotel, I like this hotel because of this, or I don't like this hotel because of that, right? Well, shouldn't it be the same thing? Like if you're looking for a job, right? If I'm going to change where I'm working and go to a new hotel, shouldn't I do my research before I take that job? And TripAdvisor would be one of those things you should add to your list, right? It's one thing to talk to your colleagues that may know that particular property. But it's another thing to kind of do it on your own and say, you know what, I'm gonna do my research. Because an interview, when you get to that interview stage, the interview is more about you interviewing them than them interviewing you. Because just like they want to make sure you're the right candidate for that, you want to make sure that hotel and that team's the right fit for you, right? You don't want to just go somewhere and you find out on like TripAdvisor or through your colleagues that this place is not a good place to work. You've heard a lot of negative things. So why would you go ahead and do that? But you don't know that unless you ask the right questions to maybe your colleagues or do your own research. And what I mean doing your own research, check TripAdvisor, especially if you're like a director of sales or a sales manager. This is a hotel you have to represent, right? Okay, to everyone outside. And if there's already obstacles in your way, maybe you would want to pass on that hotel, or maybe at least going into it, okay, there's going to be some challenges here. Okay, I'm up for those challenges, okay? But look at TripAdvisor, see exactly what they're saying about this hotel. And not only look at the comments that the guests or former guests have said, what about the managers? Have they responded and how quickly did they respond to the issues that the guests had, right? Were they resolved? Did it seem, based on your notes, was based on what you're reading, that it was resolved? Okay, that's a good thing, right? It's not about the issues that guests have, because somebody's going to have some issues. Okay, nothing's perfect, but to me it's more about how quickly and how efficiently the managers have responded to this issue. Okay, what did they do? Did they resolve the issue? Was it taken offline? Was there a phone call made or whatever? Because there's a lot of thank you for this issue. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. I'll, go take a look and see what happened, or I'll do some research. And then it never, continues, or you never see the end result. Okay, meaning the guests come back saying, "Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate this." Blah blah blah. Because the guests will talk, right? The guests will say everything they can about that particular hotel, especially if it's a bad experience. Okay, so you want to make sure bad experiences are resolved and the guest is happy. Okay, so that if you read these, TripAdvisor, and don't be afraid during the interview to ask questions about, how your TripAdvisor scores. Just ask questions, and if they don't want to answer the questions, that red flag. I don't want to work for this hotel company or this hotel, right? So just remember, the interview process is just as much you interviewing them as them interviewing you. And then you want to make sure you're the right fit, just like they want to make sure you're the right fit for them. You want to make sure they're the right fit for you. Okay, so it's a two-way street. It's not just a one-way street when it comes to interviews. Okay, so just keep all that in mind. Okay, I'm the Russell of Hotels. That's what I talk about. Those are things I talk about during the show, On Air with Russell of Hotels. I do these lives, and the lives are 99.9% about hospitality. There may be some one-offs where I talk about other things or whatever, but mostly, even if I do get off topic, I'm gonna bring it back to hotels, tourism, and non-meat eats, because I don't eat meat, right? So I do talk about, different restaurants that I go to, or different types of food that I prepare, because like I said, I'm a non-meat eat kind of guy. I don't eat, anything with dairy, butter, eggs, anything like that. I don't eat meat, no fish, none of that stuff. I have a plant-based diet. So there you go, 100% plant-based. So anyway, thank you so much. Appreciate it. I'll be back again tomorrow to do another live here on YouTube. Once again, On Air with Russell of Hotels is live on YouTube Tuesdays at 1 o'clock PST with the replay. I do a replay on LinkedIn and some other social media platforms. So anyway, that's it. You guys have a great day. Peace.